You are now listening to the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time at BringDownTheBand.com, and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You're now tuned in to the new Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The entire crew is here, starting off with my man, the voice Indianapolis, a.k.a. Y'all know all the names I'm giving them by now. Jay Moore, how are you, sir?
Doing well. About to move into this month of April. Gonna get vaccinated so I can really move around like I want to. So, just trying to do the right thing.
Okay, that is the right thing. I see you out here with that. That's a good move right there, sir. Jay Diff, what's happening, man? Good to see you, brother.
What's good? I am here in the flesh.
Yes, sir. We thought you might have been a scratch tonight. Had some grown folk business to take care of, but you're still in the building. We appreciate you. You. Yes, sir. Live from the Bringing Down the Band headquarters. Man, Lonegevity, how are you, sir?
Doing all right. Doing quite splendid. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Doing just fine.
As always.
Doing just fine. Yeah, you too.
Shout out to the chat. I believe I heard E was in here earlier. I know D Frog is lurking. I see the flood. The rest of them haven't loaded. So if I missed you, I apologize. There's more people lurking than,
Yeah, shouts to Nate. Shouts to David. And anybody else that's in here.
Okay, word. Nate Jeezy, I see you. All right, so
what up, Sam?
Get myself together. Get the run in my mouth. Yeah. So I don't know how you missed this one. It's cool. If you chose not to, take this one in, that's cool as well. But Lil Nas X has been in the news crazy.
Has he?
After his, oh my gosh, man! Listen, I think it's called. The video is called Montero. A couple of my homies said they didn't watch it, and I've heard some people say watched it, and approval rate is probably 1 to 2% on this one, and I think the 1 to 2% be trolling. I'll be lost in the troll era, so I don't know what's what at this point. I just have to go off how things make me feel in person myself. This video, man, like there's if you go to YouTube and search, there's like 100 reviews of people reviewing this video. If you have somebody say something, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I thought I heard.
Just fucking talk, man. Shit.
Yeah, I mean,
are you hearing voices?
No, it went my went in and out. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't do that. Shout out to
Wait a minute. Man. The devil has got a hold of your headphones.
I knew you was. I knew you was going to start. I wish I had a drum roll and what's going.
That's
anyway,
what you get
man.
For all this Lil Nas X talk.
I'm over here playing, huh? That's what clearly what it is.
What you say now, Chuck? Everybody saying that, man.
Man, I can't play with this video, man. It's gonna cut my damn computer off. All right. Anyway, did y'all all see the video first before we get too far?
Because I knew we were going to talk about it. Yes, I did watch it.
No, I watched like 15 seconds of his apology video.
Oh, okay.
Which is probably similar to...
Which is more trolling, probably.
Yeah.
Jay Diff, you see it?
Seen it. It was crazy. I seen it before I knew what was about to happen. Like before any review. So I seen it. I want to say OK Player or somebody said, gotta check out this new Lil Nas X video. I'm like, hey, but it didn't premise anything. It just said, check it out.
Yeah.
Checked it out. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna try to paraphrase the video here. So fam is wilding from what I saw. I'm talking about wilding in this video. All from the way I saw it, there's a big ass stripper pole and he slides from like heaven to hell in the stripper pole, and then I saw like, the devil sitting in the chair and fam giving the devil a lap dance. I cut it off at that point. I was like, I'm cool. I don't know if that was the end. I said, man, I'm good. Like, this is the ultimate clout.
It pretty much goes on like that for the rest of the time. It's like I said, I watched it because I knew we were going to talk about it, and I didn't want to just be one of these people that, you know, I didn't even watch it. No, I watched it, you know, and I watched it once, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's about where I was at. I think it might have been close to the end at that point because I think it had been through a verse and all that other shit. But and I'm coming around. There's an article too on Complex that says, here's my question. One, I want to see what y'all think about, you know, just the video overall. We're probably more than likely going to be on the same page there.
I'm gonna watch
Complex
it on mute.
Released an article. Okay,
Let me watch it on mute in the background here.
Complex released an article saying Lil Nas X outrage is exposing hypocrites. They go on to show older videos in the past, like Madonna's video. They talked about DMX, Flesh of My Flesh, all that type of stuff. So, Jimmo, I'm gonna come to you first, and then we can kind of, we can go around. I'm gonna probably have to double back. Initial thoughts on the I heard that long. Initial thoughts on the video, and what do you think about the concept of Complex saying there are hypocrites because of certain videos that came out in the past?
Well, I'm not a fan of this video. I'm not a fan of this song. You know, if you're going to do a video this provocative, the song better slap super hard. And that doesn't do this. So this isn't going to be another Old Town Road. This doesn't have any hit potential to me, other than where it's going to get as far as controversy. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's number one on this, that, and the third. Yes, it's number one because like, it's number one the way a lot of things get to be number one or they chart high is because everyone wants to check it out. And if it has no replay value, don't tell me what it did the first week. Tell me what it did the second and third week. You know, so that's where we'll see if this is really something that is actually attaching itself to culture. Do I think there's a little bit of hypocrisy here? Yes, because everyone's look. I'm gonna say this, and this might be a little controversial, but that's what we're here for. You know, because I don't, of course, this isn't something I like to talk about publicly, but, I am a believer. But I hate that Christians are so easy to troll. Like it is easy publicity for someone like Lil Nas X, who has a mediocre at best song, to go ahead and put out a visual like this and then put out the pentagram shoes with the drop of blood in them.
I ain't even mentioned that yet.
And all of a sudden he dominates the pop news cycle for it's been 4 or 5 days now. And like I said, it'd be one thing if the song was incredible, but it's not. And people try to compare it to like when Madonna dropped Like a Prayer back in the day. And I don't know if you guys remember that moment because like she had this big like it was like an $8 or $9 million endorsement deal with Pepsi, and they gave her that money before they saw the video. And then they see the video and it has all this religious imagery and the burning crosses and the interracial relationship, which was still something kind of controversial in the late 80s. And they wound up just washing her hands of it, but she got to keep the money. But I got to tell you this, Like a Prayer as a song slapped really hard. If you were into pop music at that time. So, the controversy did not weigh the quality of the song. And I think that's where Lil Nas X is going to come up really, really short. But also going back to the hypocrisy of it. Look, this is also a lot of people who came up on 3 6 Mafia, Bone Thugs and Harmony talking about Ouija, Are You With Me? If you are from that era. And, if you watch South Park, the movie, you saw the devil have a gay sexual relationship with Saddam Hussein. So let's not act like y'all ain't been exposed to this before. A lot of the reason you're so triggered by it now is because Lil Nas X is gay and you're bothered by the homophobia of it. And no, you're
true.
You're not bothered by the homophobia, but you are homophobic because you've heard Lil Wayne say, these hoes love me like Satan, and you weren't even close to being as mad, but because Lil Nas X throws out all this imagery, then it becomes a problem. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the imagery is a problem. I won't be watching the video again. I won't be listening to the song again, and I don't want to see nobody in my circle with them shoes on. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So what I worry about for this young man really is, I really feel like, okay, for all this controversy and all the attention he's garnering right now, he may have pretty much ended his career, because Old Town Road, and he tries to say it was about all this other stuff. I didn't hear that when I heard Old Town Road. Here I heard basically a country rap song with no cuss words in it, and he has all these young fans, and basically he's throwing all that away. And I'm just keep it real. Black people, we don't fuck with the devil like that. You start bringing the devil around us like that, and you don't have no real good counter argument to it. We're really not here to listen to what you got to say. But I will be honest, I do feel like a lot of the scrutiny is because he is gay, but also a lot of the scrutiny is because the song is not good and the visuals do not outweigh the mediocrity of the song.
Here's my thing on this is just from what I've heard in the conversations I've had with some of the homies. To me, I think some of the outrage is displaced because it's easy to go back and say, the Like a Prayer video, and me and a couple of other homies were talking about Luke having like twerk contests and pussy eating contests on the stage back in like '88 and shit like that. The thing that makes this terrible for me is I was saying, I'm not going to say I'm Captain Hip Hop. I'll be lying if I say that. In '88, I was 7 years old. I ain't know shit about Luke. I didn't know what was going on with Luke. I wasn't listening to Luke. Also, I didn't have an iPad in my bedroom when I was 7 years old where I could go to YouTube and slip up and see Luke.
You probably didn't even have a TV in your bedroom, much less.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
it certainly didn't have cable.
Luke's concert may have been taped on VHS. Maybe. It might have been somebody might have been recording it. There was no way for me to see that after the show that night, me sitting in my bedroom. I'm saying that to say this kid has to be cognizant to be smarter.
Luke had a controversial act happening here in Indianapolis.
I think I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah.
My thing is the difference between the stuff that I saw that happened then versus now is the accessibility. Madonna's video came out. Yeah, you would hear about it if somebody was pissed off in the news, if you catch it on the news, or if it's in a magazine. Now everything is so direct to consumer. Billions and billions of people saw that shit the minute he put it out. That's the difference. That's where the outrage comes from me. It's some clout shit. It's some stupid shit, and I do not agree with the imagery at all. That shit is trash, and I'm not gonna support it. But I feel like this shit is mad detrimental, and it has nothing to do with any of the rest of the stuff that you was talking about, Jay Moore. To me, it's just the fact that he's doing this, and kids can see that shit right now. We couldn't see it like that when we were kids. I feel like it has the potential to be very detrimental.
But the thing is, kids can also see NLE Chopper. They can also see, Megan Thee Stallion. Let's not, they have access to everything. But if you're specifically mad about this, let's make it okay. No, I do. I don't feel him doing all the imagery with the devil and him giving the devil a lap dance. But you know what? I thought about this, and maybe this is me, thinking way too far. It's like, okay, for people who do consider themselves religious, if they think Lil Nas X is going to hell because he's gay, okay, there's a video of him in hell giving the devil a lap dance. Technically, that's what y'all think of him anyway. So is he really doing anything that's too far off of what you think of him already? Like, maybe that's me playing, for lack of a better term,
I know what you're going to
devil's advocate, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there we go. Like, if you already think Lil Nas X is going to hell just because he's gay, why should he try to keep making songs for your kids?
To me, there's levels to things, though. Like, you can't look me in my face and tell me there's an NLE Chopper video that's as bad as that, unless it's just subjective, and that's your opinion. I've never seen nothing like that. I've never seen nothing like that.
If they point guns,
where everybody messes up. Let me stop you right there.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason I said is because y'all said NLE Chopper. Like, I want to know what the comparison is. Where are the blood shoes for NLE Chopper? That's what I'm saying.
The problem.
Separation of church and state.
With all of that. And this is something that everybody does, and I don't understand why. You can't make one sin outweigh the other. That's not how it was written. And as a Christian, you should know that. If you actually read your Bible, every sin is cast in the same light. Every single one of them. People pick and choose which sin to put on a higher plateau when you don't have the power to do that. With this Lil Nas X thing, I'm cool on the video. You know what I'm saying? That's just not my cup of tea. I'm all the way cool on it. I remember more a visual than the song. Like Jay Moore said, the song does not stick with you at all. I don't even remember what the song sounds like. The visuals was just, it was not cool in my personal opinion. That's just not something I'm with. It has nothing to do with like being some super Christian or a Bible thumper or nothing like that. It's just extra weird to me. Everything, this is the thing, everybody considers everything as different art. I don't consider everything art like that. I mean, he's doing it pretty much to get attention. That's what his whole point has been since he got put on the plateau from Old Town Road. And what he has done is he ousted his core fan base by saying he don't care about kids much. He was like he trying to take the Dennis Rodman or what's the name route, saying you don't care about the people that pretty much put you on.
Yeah.
And
abandon them.
I mean, that's whack in itself. It's just, I think what he's doing is he's just grabbing at anything that he can grab at right now, and they're pretty much laying it out for him because he has endorsement deals.
Nike gonna get that bread though. Be clear. Nike gonna get that bread.
Yeah, the shoe wasn't. The shoe wasn't a Nike shoe though. The thing about it is, the shoe is not a Nike shoe. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna sue him. They're not suing him. They're suing the company that made the shoes.
They're gonna get some bread out of it.
That's the difference. See, this is the thing too, because the shoe that same company made holy water shoe as well. So they should have sued him then. But what it is there's more eyes on it now because it attached Lil Nas X, who is a pop star right now. Put him on the radar, which is probably the reason why they're being sued. A lot of people were ready to out Nike based off of not knowing facts, and that's what the problem with a lot of this stuff is too. Now, you get the news immediately, and without waiting and letting it actually formulate, you've already decided what happened, and all of a sudden Nike's canceled too because of it, and they didn't have nothing to do with it. Simple as that. But
a lot of people jumped out the window on Nike. I did see that, and
I saw that too.
I'm talking about way out the window. I'm burning my Nike shoes and all that. I was like, hold on.
But they was doing that when Colin Kaepernick, when they was giving Colin Kaepernick.
There's always people who burn things.
Should have been burning them.
Yeah.
Stay long.
It should have already been burnt. I mean, if you have morals and shit, I mean, shit, it's like child labor in China. I mean, let's be real. So, I mean.
Well, you're right. But that, but we can't be bothered with that. We gotta worry about the devil, and that's how things must be kind of quiet in America. Because whenever things are going okay, and we, here come the devil. Everybody got to bring up the devil.
Even touch on that part. The whole devil thing. Okay, so there's all kind of uses for devil in the United States, whether it be a sports team, whether it be a TV series, whether it be a movie. I mean, it's all over the damn place. Fortunately, that's the world we live in. I mean, and if you're a reader of the Bible, you know that the earth is pretty much Satan's. You know what I'm saying? If you actually believe in that, this is not where God reigns. God reigns in heaven. Earth is Satan pretty much resides in it, and it's very evident. But at the same time, you can't pick and choose which Satan, devil, Lucifer that you pick to be against. I mean, either you're against them all or you're against none of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why people try to differentiate the two.
Jump in there, Lone. Hold on a second, Jay Moore. Jump in there, Lone.
You guys You guys got your points out? Because I'm going to disagree with like everybody. Well, not really, but
go get him, Long.
Yeah,
you gassed him up.
Hey, I love the devil.
Oh my God, Terry, get your people, man.
I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Get your people, man.
That was just shock value. No,
somebody gonna clip that.
They can clip it. It's all good. I am not upset at this song at all. I don't think anybody should be more upset at this than any other thing that's hit the airwaves. Like the different, like people, if you're gonna get mad at WAP, you should be mad at this one as well. It should be the same. To Jay Moore's point, I think there's a lot of people that are just homophobic. I understand the devil imagery will be offensive to some Christians and some religious people. And I also definitely know that it's something that is used just because they don't want his music on there. What I will say is that I just watched the video, and I don't know if anybody played the game Diablo 2, but it was like a spitting image of when you would go to World 4 and Diablo's realm. Like even the way the shit opened up, it was crazy. No, it was actually kind of cool.
It reminded me of the old game Ghouls and Ghosts on the Sega Genesis when you got to the very end and fought basically the devil.
Wow.
It reminded me of that one movie with Chris Tucker. It was the singer.
Tucker.
That one part in the video.
I don't know.
About that.
Go ahead. My bad.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but the imagery there was like almost a spitting image of Diablo 2 if you've ever played that game. But anyways, I don't know, man. Like, and obviously I'm not religious. I'm not Christian. I'm not any of that. And so I don't have, when I look at it, I just see somebody who is stretching the envelope in a way. I don't think he's doing it any more than anything else we've already seen before a million times.
I've never seen that like this.
It's just shock value, but even back to like, I don't know, to your argument about kids in the 80s and the access, I don't care, man. Like it's on the parents. Like the argument is always and always should be, it's on the parents. It's on parents to dictate. We can't have the argument of we have more access, in my opinion, and let some art get through and not other art get through. Like it has to be.
Everybody was seeing everything, man. And attest to that because everything I wasn't supposed to see when I was a kid, I seen it.
Yeah.
I know who Luke was in '88, dog. I ain't know who Luke was in '88, man. And that could have been just me being sheltered or some shit. But
that's what that was.
Scared.
I saw a whole bunch of shit, but I ain't see Luke in '88. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to Luke in '88. There was no way for me to see.
But you saw
in '88 unless my cousin put me on or something.
Okay, that's the same thing, though.
You saw RoboCop. You saw
other shit. You know, you saw movies that depicted the devil. You saw movies that did the same. Spawn. You saw others. Like
you saw Thriller. You saw Thriller, didn't you?
You were scared of Thriller. I wasn't scared.
Sure it was. I ain't go for it.
But that's the point. It's on. It has to be. This argument has to be on the parents. It can't be on the creators. It can't be on them because then, unless you're wanting to jump down the wormhole of censorship and certain stuff just isn't okay. And then I was joking earlier when I said separation of church and state, but that's kind of how I feel. To me, I just look at this as just, this is just art to me. Like it doesn't offend me at all. And certain things are going to offend people that are more religious than I am. So I just look at him and be like, I see what he's trying to do. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you don't want your kids watching it, then figure out how, then raise them better or some shit. Damn it.
Shit is shock value.
That's that privilege base. Go ahead.
I'm just saying everything. I can't qualify everything as art all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
I mean, it's creative. It was understand what he's trying to do. And I'm not saying I like the song. I mean, it's not something I'm bumping my ride or
I'm cool.
while I'm DJing or no shit like that. But I mean, the video is pretty much is what's propelling the song itself.
For sure.
And every video or single that he's had after Old Town Road, he's pretty much trying to catch that same flame that he caught on that first song. So it's doing whatever he can in order to do that. And I won't even go as far as say as this is going to kill his career at all. Anything is going to give him even more eyes and attention on himself. I mean, back in the day, you had rock and roll people, Ozzy Osbourne, Marilyn Manson. Yeah, people, if you played the music backwards, they're saying it say stuff. This shit is not, this is nothing new. It's just has a different set.
Lone, let me ask you to come back to what you were talking about.
I've got plenty to talk about, but go ahead.
With the access and the parenting, you said, well, you still found a way to see it.
For sure.
My rebuttal to that is the you still found a way to see it is times 100 now. That's the difference.
I get that, but what is the alternative?
My
what is the alternative?
I'm not talking about him being gay. I'm not talking about none of that.
What's the alternative? What's the alternative?
I don't know what the alternative is. I'm just going
exactly. There isn't one. That's my point. That's my point. There's no alternative outside of censoring it. There's no alternative outside of censoring and saying that. Well, I mean, obviously this is on YouTube. You have to be over a certain age to view anything on YouTube. It's literally a guideline. It's like over 13 or something. So if you're accessing YouTube at a younger age, then that means that you got permissions from somebody that is older. So it's written into all. Now, granted, that doesn't mean that people aren't watching it, right?
I follow. I follow.
But this whole, you know. And I see, Nate, you mentioned in the comments about the creators have to be taking responsibility for stuff that's offensive. I don't believe that 100% because everything is offensive to somebody. And where is the line? And creators are going to continually beat themselves up, and then they're not going to create anything. I think it's okay for people to criticize, and I think it's okay for people to say, hey, this is, you know, I don't like this, right? Mm-hmm, and then if the creator says, okay, yeah, that was my intent, they leave it alone, or they say, no, maybe I didn't mean it that way, then they want to apologize for it, then I think that's part of it. But I don't necessarily, I mean, shoot.
We're always going to.
I can make a PR statement tomorrow because because I said, yeah, I love the devil, you know? Who got offended by that? I don't care. Get offended. Like it.
We know your mantra. You don't care.
I mean, I do care.
We got it in
I do
emotes.
care.
We got it in the emotes, man.
I care when it makes sense. You know what I mean? I care a lot about when it makes sense. And, you know, I care about harmful language, but this is one of them things that I don't.
That's the whole reason I brought up the point that you can't pick and choose which devil to like and dislike. It doesn't work that way. It's the same individual. No matter how they depict it, whether it was drawn in a funny looking manner, whether it was drawn cartoony, or whether it was drawn evil. It's the same exact person.
Well, you know, that's why
energy. So if you're allowing that energy to be around you in any way, shape, or form, doesn't matter if this particular one offended you because you don't like it shown to you like that. It's all devilish at the end of the day, regardless.
Right.
Well, and that's why I said that's why I brought up NLE Chopper and, you know, Megan Thee Stallion, because like, okay, if you're upset at this over here, then have that same ire that you have for this over here. Be just as upset at him pointing guns at the screen as you are the devil, and be at this, you know, exploitation of sex. You know, don't be silent for this, but then raise your voice for this, because, you know, it's not like in the law where there's first degree, second degree, third degree sins. You know what I'm saying? Like, because once again, I'm not trying to get religious, but like, it's all the same, you know. And my thing is this, like, I always look at it like this, especially when I'm talking about younger rappers. And I've gone through this before, because I don't want to be on the C. Dolores Tucker type thing to where I'm just coming down on these young men and women. I want to see, okay, where did we as OGs fail them? And because when I look at this, who is on his team and said, yeah, this will be a good way to take your career. You got all this love from this mainstream audience. Okay, now this is what we're going to do. We're going to have you lap dancing on the devil and putting shoes out that got blood in them. Like, where, you know what I'm saying? Like, for your career, what are you thinking where that's really going to take? You think that's going to take you to the next level? Because it ain't. You know, if you just want to be this subversive character and you want to be controversial, okay. But I tell you what, your music's got to be a lot better than this that you just put out. You know, and I would pull that young man aside as opposed to just letting him put this out here. Like I said, like my whole thing is, like I said, I look at young rappers like my kids, even though like they probably don't care anything about what I have to say. And I'd be like, look, young man, this is not the move. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not you have this aversion to anything religious, whether you feel like Christianity failed you in some way, okay, well, let's talk about that. But let's talk about how you are going to navigate your way through the rest of your life, because right now this ain't it. Because right now I see him on Twitter, because he's a funny follow up until this week to where he's just copping pleas. And I don't, and I think he really is regretting putting this piece of art out.
I don't think he is. And it's not art to me. I just like to keep saying that.
Yeah, I see you.
Shit is.
It's not my type of art. It's not my type of art either. But it's
thrown around so easy these days.
But it's also subjective too. You know, it's also
it is subjective. Somebody probably loves it. I don't, but somebody probably loves it.
I mean, 90% of hip hop I hear is not art to me. So,
let me jump in the chat real quick, y'all. Exactly. Let me jump in the chat real quick just to read a couple comments in the chat. The chat is lit. We've been talking. I want to make sure we catch. Lone read one from Jeezy. Sean O said atheists are offended too. Just saying. I hadn't heard that, but okay. Nate Jeezy says saying you can't put it on the creators. They shouldn't be censored, but they aren't above being accountable for harmful messages.
Right, that's kind of what I said.
Could dig that. David said
what I was getting
debate too. Yeah, okay. People like a reason to be outraged. TR, I do believe that sometimes, especially in this era. See, he's getting attention and getting the bag at the end of the day from David. I believe this is 100%. I believe this is 100% clout chase myself.
I think we have to, with Lil Nas X, we have to realize that he's not just an artist. He's not just a hip hop rapper or whatever. Like he just uses hip hop for whatever he does. Like he's big on social media and all that other stuff. Like I think he just cares about popularity, period.
Just hate. There's a chance it might be labeled that though, but I agree with you, Lone. Like that's how he comes off. I could easily see people saying, "Did you see that hip hop video?" You know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, I'm just saying from his perspective. Like I feel like I get the vibe from him that he's less about being a hip hop artist and more about just staying in the headlines
and being provocative. Yes.
Yeah, because man, very controversial. And he got the attention he was looking for. I tell you that. Is his career over? Is it a wrap?
No,
I don't see that. I don't know if I can go that far, but I know Nike.
If this is the best song he's got in the chamber, yeah, it's over.
You say it's over? Oh, okay.
If this is his lead single, and this is the best song he's got in the chamber, yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2000,
he can be able to He can trans.
It don't matter now.
He can transition into something else.
He can put out
all eyes on him, and he has people that have his back based off of him doing this too.
Let me ask you this.
Ice JJ Fish has a career.
I didn't, but
does he though?
If he drops another song, he's going to have hits. He's going to have views.
Bill Brown will be laughing at
people come sing, and you'll MC it.
Look, there's a difference. There's a big difference between us laughing at you and laughing with you. And we laugh at JJ Fish. We're not laughing with him. And that's not, if that's the kind of, if you don't care whether you have that attention or not, and you feel like I'm still getting booked, cool. But like, there's a lot of people in this right now. This is all of people feel like, oh, I got mad views. I got all these followers. You got to realize a lot of people are laughing at you. They're not laughing with you. And it's not just about laughing. I'm talking about people who do goofy dances. I'm talking about girls who are half naked on Instagram. They think that we're we talked about this a little bit last week. Like, I'm not your fan. Like, I have my man Ryan Davis, a comedian. He said, I have a problem. I'm not a fan of yours. I just like looking at female naked ass. Like, don't make more of it than what it is. You know, all attention is not good attention.
Shano made a great point. I mean, Shano's made my rebuttal to that is that laughing at someone is a success these days, and I agree with that. Like, that's Lil Nas X doesn't care. He doesn't care.
He does.
He doesn't care.
That's all that matters.
Realize when you're talking about bags, and if bags are important to you, Lil Nas X has broken all kind of records. His bank account is probably sitting pretty. Positive about that.
Shano hit. That's a bar right there, because in 2021 he's 100% right. That's a bar. Lone, my question to you is real quick, and I know we got to move on. So now, with him being in this position that he's in now, we've talked about his career, what may happen, what may not happen. Can he play the kid role again and go back to them, or is that a wrap? Is that door closed?
What do you mean by the kid door? The kid
going back to making records like Old Town Road and going to elementary schools and performing. Is that door closed?
It's an interesting question, because I didn't know he was doing that before. So
his videos of him performing in front of schools of kids with cowboy hats on, and they sitting. I mean,
you have to realize, like, people like Lil Nas X grew up with the generation, just like Miley Cyrus did, just like, you know, those kids are now older, so he's got a hold of them. Plus, he's got all the old people talking to us. We got us talking about him. Like, it doesn't matter.
2 years ago.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm saying is it doesn't matter, even if he can't do that anymore. Like, he's on TikTok. He's got the people that follow him on TikTok. You know, they're gonna still follow him.
I'm just talking about strictly on the surface value. Like not if it matters. I'm talking about, do y'all think that option for him is closed musically?
This is where he's at, though. See, he doesn't need to tour the elementary school circuit anymore. Past that, you know what I'm saying? So. He has another song that catches fire like Old Town Road. I mean, it's just gonna do what it do. He don't have to show up at elementary schools,
right?
Cowboy outfit with tassels and shit.
He came out the gate. I was under the assumption that, and he said it as well, that was his target audience. So that's the only reason I asked, because to me, I'm looking at it like I just don't see that anymore. To your point, it's gonna have to be something different.
And I don't think it initially was his target
I don't think it matters.
Audience. Just that's who took on to it.
Yeah.
I've even heard people say that he's a industry plant, but that's a whole nother conversation.
I ain't gonna even go down that road. Yeah, I ain't even.
He actually responded to somebody that said that. He said, "How when I made the entire video myself." Yeah, he said,
okay.
You know, like I've seen a lot of his responses to a lot of this stuff. It's actually. I actually respect him a little bit more throughout all this, to be honest. I mean, I know I'm not in the the majority here, but he don't care, man. He just doesn't care. He's got a social media following. He's funny on social media.
Look,
he could just do TikTok and be. He don't need to do anything else.
Look, maybe he made enough money off Old Town Road. You know, he might have it. It was a diamond song. To where he can get out here and do whatever goofy, irresponsible, offensive stuff going forward, and it doesn't even matter, because
that's the operative word.
He's not worried about you or your kids, because he's going to be able to live his life lavish going forward. It doesn't matter.
He's not the first one to do that. I will say that.
Way more people that never had a diamond song than there are, and he's in the Diamond Club, so. Sitting nice.
And he can always change. He's always got that out. He's still young. So if he wants to come out with a Christian rap album, people will listen.
I agree with that, man. In 2021, I agree with that.
Come out next year and be just like that one dude and say he ain't gay no more. Been delivered.
Lone is right.
Yeah, I hate that dude.
Lone is 100% right on that. And it'll go too, and it'll sell.
I'm with
you.
It just doesn't matter. People forget, people move on. You know, I mean,
I think
some of us will care about certain things, but if he was out here saying I'm a hip hop artist and I'm for the culture and I'm then we would have something to talk about. But I mean,
I think that statement that you just said shows how, to your point, how things are. We talk about the word subjective. It's like, I think there's a pocket of people that will be way more pissed off if he said what you just said. I mean, and I think there's a group of people that's pissed off based off, it is what it is on his face. So
look, let's just keep it real.
I don't listen to him.
There were people who were critical of Kanye West when he decided to do a gospel album. There were people who were critical of Snoop Dogg when he decided to do a gospel album. How dare you do this? Who are you to do a gospel album? So, there are people who are just professionally upset.
Yeah, me. And I'm not upset at this.
So that it is what it is. Once again, my concern is different. My concern is for this young man, like, really, and how he's going to move forward in his life. Like I said, I look at it as like, Lil Nas X is one of my kids. NLE Chopper is one of my kids. I worry about these young men and how they're going to move, like, okay, once their moment in the sun is over with, how are you going to move forward and really live your life? And I want better for you.
Sell a story. He's going to sell a story to People Magazine or Lifetime, and he's going to make another bag.
And for some of them, is like, I'm getting the bag and I don't care. Okay, all right. And then I can't tell you nothing. What do I know? I'm just some old man who got nothing.
That's it. That's it.
I'm just
that's pretty much the mantra. As long as you made a bag nowadays, pretty much all that matters.
None of the rest of it matters. Yeah, that's where we are. 100%.
As you made a bag.
All right, so
let's do the partners. Yeah.
We'd like to thank our partners, New Old Heads Podcast, No Bad Ideas Clothing Company, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, Sun King Brewery, and the hub for all things New Old Heads, BringingDownTheBand.com. Remember, once you type Bringing Down the Band in the search bar on YouTube and the page populates, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And as always, we thank you for your support. Now back to the show. All right, man. Shout out to the partners, man. We appreciate them as always, and we're looking to continue to grow those relationships. All right, man. Hell of a first segment. I know we ran over a little bit, but shout out to the chat. Y'all definitely were lit. We knew this one was going to be a little controversial, but that's okay. That's what we're here for, to talk about it. All right, so let's move to something that's not going to be as lit as that, but
that's unfortunate.
I know, right? If I could find 3 or 4 things this lit every time, yeah. All right, so I saw an interview with an OG rapper, and the statement kind of I don't know if I actually necessarily agree with it, but I'll just kind of paraphrase and see what y'all think. Question that was posed to him was, what defines greatness in terms of an artist?
This guy.
And
nothing. I was just saying, this guy. Go ahead.
Okay. What defines greatness in terms of an artist? The OG responded saying that the artist must influence or invoke change. And one of the examples that he brought up was Big, and he said Biggie not great because he didn't inspire a generation or invoke any change. Like, that would be his example of someone that was not great. He just was a dope artist. That could have. The question was posed: are you saying that from a standpoint of because he put out 2 albums? What he was like, no, just overall his career, for whatever it was, not that impactful. So I would not consider him great. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but then again, it goes back to the point of what is impact. So just use Big as an example. You agree with that? Big's not great because he didn't impact the culture like we would say a Pac would, or I don't know, on a Mac Dre out west or something like that.
It just depends what the conversation is. Is he a great hip hop artist, or is he a great person pushing influence on culture? Like, those are 2 separate questions, so I personally feel that yes, Big was a great hip hop artist, and he didn't have enough time to impact the culture in a larger way because he died.
I don't know if it's a lot of people out east that would agree with that, but that's a fair statement. Jay Diff, jump in, man. What do you think about? you think about that?
I disagree, but I disagree with a lot of the stuff that he's been saying here lately. I actually wouldn't say got into it, but I commented on a status on Ricky Smiley's show's morning show about he said, and you should have seen the stuff that people were saying.
Yeah.
You talking about Melle Mell?
Back to me. Yeah. And back to me. I'm like, y'all, you just don't get it. But this dude, as far as Big is concerned, though, cultural impact. I mean, he definitely changed the way that people approach rapping styles. I will say that. Because in order to compete with a Big, I mean, Big he comes from the era of trying to be the best rapper. So if I'm trying to be the best rapper, and whoever's following behind me is definitely taking gems off what I'm doing, trying to step my game up higher because of what you did. Like his tangents, the way he flowed, it hadn't been done before. He had his own style. Period. You know what I'm saying? Even down to rapping about like Versace, even though people rapped about Gucci and Louis and all that stuff, but he made certain styles fly. He made fat ugly dude fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He embraced that. He also, with Puffy, they changed where rap was going at that particular time. From, I don't know, between, even though he had passed away by the time his second album came out, was more onto the flashy, what they call it, the shiny suit phase. Yeah. Shiny suit era, where everything was wide videos and flashy shit. I mean, he had the expensive ass videos.
To me, that's greatness.
To me, that's hip hop related greatness, though.
It is hip hop related, but it's also me coming in the game, setting a standard that other people were following and building upon. Also,
it's fair.
The Battery and Jay-Z's back, because I don't know if you recall the story. He wasn't really thinking about rapping like that no more. He had already been in and been out and was in the streets. He was the one that's telling Jay, hey, you really need to come over and get this paper, man. This is where it's at. Follow suit and look where Jay is now. So if that ain't a direct correlation to a hip-hop impact, I don't know what else is. Melly don't like Jay-Z either. That's what the conversation was about. He don't like Jay-Z. Oh,
okay.
Plus, Melle had a personal relationship with Pac. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was
that
different.
I didn't know.
Yeah, like because you know, Pac was trying to get Melle a deal before he died. You know, because the thing is, like, people. I mean, of course, everyone correlates Tupac with the West Coast, but Tupac loved the East Coast. He loved old school rappers. He, you know, before the whole thing with Suge, he had so much love for the East Coast, and that's why it was so venomous against the people on the East Coast who he felt like had turned on him. You know, the people who he loved on the East Coast, he loved, but the people who he felt like turned on him, he hated. And it was black and white. You know, so do I think Tupac was more impactful as far as culture is concerned? In a way, yes, because I can listen to some Tupac lyrics which I don't think are as intricate or as complex as what Biggie rhymed about, or as how Biggie rhymed rather. But I can be like, yo, did that come out yesterday? You know what I'm saying? Like Tupac rhymes about stuff that is still going on right now. And that might be more sad, if anything, because the state of the world hasn't changed as much as it should have since Tupac died back in 1996. But as far as like, if you're talking about the art of rap, you know, I feel like B.I.G. is much more impactful. But of course, like what B.I.G. did, you just can't do. You just can't pick up the microphone and start doing. Like, he was special. Not to say that Tupac wasn't special, because he was, but as far as like being someone who got on the microphone and said, like, there was a time where like this is what's real. This is what I really hate about hip hop, and this is where my old head shit comes out. To where I feel like there was a time where I would hear somebody on the radio and be like, "Yo, I can't do that. That person is a star." And then around the time, and this is gonna make some people mad because I know a lot of people love Master P, but like when Master P and them started being, I got to thinking, oh, I could do that, and that's what happened to hip hop. There was a lot of people who felt like I can do that. Yeah. And that's where hip hop went for a long amount of time.
It's still there.
You see it now to where like I hear shit on the radio and be like, if I really sat in a room for a certain amount of time, if you give me a good beat, I can do that. And that's not what it was with, and that's not what it was with B.I.G. When you heard that, you'd be like, oh, that's special. I can't do that. And so I think there was an impact there artistically that just really can't be touched.
The thing is, I'm definitely agreeing with the nuggets Terry was dropping is what me applies the greatness outside of him just being nice. When you talked about the errors and you talked about the influence, like to me, those are the things that I think are kind of get downplayed with Big, and more of his lyrics are focused on how nice he was. But Bad Boy, spearheaded by Big, really did change a lot of shit in hip hop. Huge with him and Bad Boy and how they came out. Definitely impacted the culture. Who's is, that's, we can talk about that, but that's why I didn't agree with it, because I'm like, nah, man, you can't shortchange him like that and say hey, he's not great because of, quote unquote.
Yeah, to say he's not great is not fair.
No, it's not.
I'm cool on that.
My only argument was, if we're going to compare it to Tupac, I feel like Tupac's had a greater impact in and outside of hip hop culture.
He definitely did, because back when the whole Biggie versus Tupac thing was going on, I'm riding with Tupac. The reason why I'm riding with Tupac is because what he was talking about, I felt more. Tupac was more, even though Big's delivery was more poetic, Tupac was the poet. Tupac, the way his lyrics came out, made you actually feel something. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally today listened to Me Against the World, the album.
You actually just slipped into something that I wanted to talk about, which was,
what's that?
What is his impact? The reason I asked that is because what I see is, and this is just me, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I see a lot of rappers that swear by Tupac. They love Tupac. Oh, Pac was the realest. I'm the new Pac. I'm the reincarnated Pac. I don't hear Dear Mama in the catalog. I don't hear If My Homies Call in the catalog. I don't hear any of those records in the catalog. So what is the impact?
They're only going by the tough guy image. They only going by the Pac spitting at the camera. They only
that's what I'm talking about.
Putting his middle finger up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Listen, look,
the different
because these artists don't put out records like Trapped. I don't hear those. I don't hear any of that for the people that are so inspired by Tupac. That's my question. Like, I just don't see a lot of those records.
Listen to and watch the video for Holla If You Hear Me. That could have been the soundtrack to the summer of 2020, when after George Floyd got killed.
Definitely. And like that's my thing, bro. Like Terry, you beat me to it. The spitting into the camera is what I think. It's a shame, but that's what gets glorified more, in my personal opinion, versus the Trapped and Brenda's and all that. That's just me. That's the way I see it. Go ahead, Lone. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say it was also who Tupac was, outside of music as well. Like, a lot of artists will say that they sound like Tupac or whatever they're talking about, but they're not Tupac in real life. You know what I mean? They're not a Nipsey in real life. You know what I mean? It's different. So a lot of those comparisons are just silly.
Tupac was a whole energy. You know how nowadays the phrase is what do people be saying? A mood. That's a whole mood. Tupac was a whole mood. He was a whole energy. He was a whole movement by himself. You know what I'm saying? He was able to capture ears through music, and he was actor. You know what I'm saying? He was getting in his acting bag, and you know what I'm saying? It's just the way he was very charismatic. He also was a son of a Black Panther. He grew up around a lot of activists which is why his music sounds like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the last of a dying breed because you don't really hear people like that anymore. Came up behind
like Scarface,
like that, or had a Scarface.
Yeah, good one, Long. Yep.
The last of a dying breed.
I see what you did. I see what you did there, Lone. Okay.
No, but the thing is with Tupac, people say, "Oh, well, he contradicted himself," but like, who among us doesn't contradict themselves? Like, okay, yes, he had that revolutionary energy, but just because you were revolutionary doesn't mean that you don't like to go to the strip club. Don't mean that you don't get around. Don't mean that, but it doesn't mean that he didn't at the same. He was sincere about I get around, but he was also sincere about keep your head up. He was also sincere about soldier story. He was also sincere, because we're not one thing all of the time. I can be on here on my straight hip hop shit, but like I said, when I go out on Friday and Saturday night, like I'm not trying to hear all that uplift the community. This that
trying to hear that devil music.
I want to hear the music. I want to hear the music that makes somebody's daughter want to back that ass up on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not going to apologize for that.
What about my son?
Stop.
Yeah, see, that's where we got to switch. That's where we
Terry, get your people, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
If that's what you want to do,
but
live your life, Long.
But that's where because Tupac talked to people where they were. That's what made him. I mean, I'm not saying Big didn't do that, but there were the people that wanted to do good for their community, but at the same time, like, when it's time to go get this Hennessy, you know what I'm saying? and have a good time and have a do this, that, and the third. We're not going to act like that's not us too. Like, you can't, like, it's like when people get mad at kids who are in college and like they going out for spring break and they're doing whatever. I'm like, don't act like when you was in college, you were just sitting around watching Tony Brown's Journal and
that's a lot.
And listening to Malcolm X speeches. Like, you was out here bothering somebody's daughter who didn't love you. Like, that was part of your college experience as well.
People tend.
I think
people tend to forget.
I agree with y'all because everybody's flawed. Nobody's perfect. I guess my thing is I like to see more of that part. That's all I'm saying. But to your point, like the kid NLE Choppa, I believe, had the video where he did like 4 different Tupac scenes. Like, he did the spitting joint with the Red Wings on jersey on. His video song was actually cold too, but I get it. They probably gravitate towards the thug life tat and all that. Like, I get it. Probably know what the thug life tat really meant.
It's cool. You gotta understand too. Unless they were actually brought up listening to Pac and like seeing his interviews and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a vision of him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They didn't experience Tupac like we experienced. It's like certain artists that we didn't get to experience didn't get to actually get a full understanding of them until we seen like a documentary or something. Then you're like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, certain shit starts to be different to you as far as how you see it.
I lose sight of that sometimes too, because everybody isn't a digger. Like, somebody, like, we talk about diggers with wax, right? You dig in the crates. Everybody doesn't go back and do research on everything. Like, some people just take it for whatever the error was. So I understand that.
With Parliament Funkadelic, I love them coming up. I didn't know they was on every drug under the moon when they was recording a lot of that shit.
Yeah, they recorded that album with the Chicago Bulls from that era.
Say, man.
Stop.
See? All right, man. Look. I think
on his bullshit.
Yeah, he's in his bag tonight.
Yeah, he on his party and bullshit.
Shout out to Big. He got me over cracking up. All right, man. I think we can wrap it there. I appreciate the chat. Y'all were live tonight, man. We really appreciate you. D-Frog, Nicole peeped in for a minute. Nate, Jeezy, Shano, the Flood was in here tonight. TR was in here. The Mighty TR was in here tonight. If I missed you, I apologize. E was in here tonight. Eric, we saw you. I believe
David, Waffle House Pimp, Shano. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm missing. Yeah, we really appreciate y'all tonight. Do us a favor, go find the New Old Heads Network on YouTube, subscribe, and then also check out Patreon. Check one of those tiers, select one of the 3, and rock with your people. We really appreciate you. Remember to follow us on Twitch, and we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for the love. Peace.
Peace.
Minute.
Yeah.
Are we still
Jay Moore.